Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Big Boss Show. It's a new show where we come to you with somebody that may have not always been a big boss, but shares his or her perspective that we can learn from. Today, we're joined by a very special guest. We have Mitch Gray. Mitch is a small business leadership consultant, author, and speaker. Welcome to the show, Mitch.
Hey, great to be here.
Okay, awesome. So, tell us a little bit about yourself for those that are listening.
Yeah, so much like you just read, I get to help small business owners kind of learn how to build teams and impact their business that way. Life has been an interesting journey. I'm a five-time published author. Used to write a lot of music, kind of an award nominated songwriter from back in the day, and yeah, so it's been an interesting life, man. I like to go outdoors and get in trouble by climbing mountains that I probably shouldn't climb and jumping from airplanes. And so life is good. Life is good.
Okay, great. What are your links? What are your
Yeah. So website recruitgreatpeople.com is a great place for people to start. And then Twitter and Instagram, M Gray Media. That's Gray. And then on LinkedIn, if they just look up Mitch Gray, I should be one of the first ones that pops up.
Okay, awesome. I think that you have a book as well.
Yep, my newest book is How to Hire and Keep Great People. It came out, gosh, actually about a year ago. It's been out about a year, so it's doing really well. And actually working on two new books, and so basically, it's a guidebook again for business owners and leaders to learn how to create really strong culture, empower people, and build great teams.
Awesome. So what inspired you to get into that?
Good question. So I actually started my adult professional career in church work and ministry. I was a pastor for a long time and got out of that. That didn't work out too well. And in the meantime, I was doing some other things that made me fall in love with business. And so, really, at the end of the day, I just love empowering people. And so I made the decision to kind of combine my heart for people and my love for business, and help leaders better understand how to impact people. Oftentimes, and I've experienced leaders this way. Many other people have, but you go to a job and you spend the majority of your day working for someone else. Most people do, and those people are either great to work for or they suck. Like there's not a whole lot of in between, and so my motivation became how can I help leaders be better at what they do. And so that's really kind of what led into that. And I started on that book about 3 years ago. Started this side of my consulting about 5 years ago, and it's been good work, man. It really it is life changing in a way because you help leaders kind of see things from a different perspective, and you help employees go to work and hopefully enjoy what they do.
Interesting. Yeah, and in this time right now that we're in, what do you think that talent is looking for? The number one thing that they're looking for in a job?
They want to be valued. And that doesn't change, honestly, because that's the most basic human need. Is we want to feel valued, we want to feel appreciated, and I think that's even become magnified over the last couple of years with the results of the pandemic and things shutting down and people really started taking their lives into their own hands per se. And but yeah, it's really hard to go to a place where you're not appreciated, where you're not shown value, and studies and research, that it's proven that out time and time again. When employees are surveyed, the first thing they say they want to feel is they want to feel appreciated. They want to feel valued. They want to feel like that their work matters, whether you're cooking hamburgers or designing the next great piece of technology. You want to feel like your work matters, and that goes a long way.
Is that is that just monetary or?
Um, a saying I use quite often is people take a job for money, they don't stay because of money. And so you could pay someone a whole lot of money, but if they don't feel valued, they're eventually going to burn out. I like to say there's multiple forms of currency. There's financial currency, there's emotional currency, mental currency, spiritual currency, and physical currency. And to really create a culture where people feel valued, you better be meeting the needs of most, if not all, of those currencies. And so you're basically paying people, appreciating them is usually done verbally, maybe through incentives. Very rarely do people at the end of the day feel appreciated because of money. They normally feel appreciated because someone recognized the work that they did. And so really it's about how can you pay your employees based on all of those types of currency. It begins with money, it begins with benefits. But again, if you don't have those other forms of currencies sorted, forget it. You won't keep people.
Okay, great. So what do you think about turnover and like jobs that have really high turnover? What would you say to some of the people listening that are in that situation?
Yeah, number one, over the last couple of years, again, people realized I can work from home and still do as good of a job. I can be there with my family, or I can do the things I enjoy doing. And so we're in a little bit different space and time where organizations are having to rethink what it means to have employees. You see a lot of organizations selling off real estate. They don't have office buildings anymore. In fact, I was talking to someone last week, the organization they work for, they've sold all of their offices. Everyone's working from home now. And so there is a shift a little bit in that perception, but the principles stay the same. And those principles are, if I want to keep a team, if I want to attract the best of the best, I have to have strong culture. I have to empower people. And you really have to give people autonomy. What I like to tell leaders is you want a team of entrepreneurs, not a team of robots. You want a team of people that can think for themselves, act for themselves, and make decisions. And when you can create a culture that way, you lessen the risk of turnover because people are going to stay in that environment. So some people have employees quitting right and left, and you have a few questions to ask. Number one, what culture have we created? Number two, how are we paying our people? Are we paying them right at minimum wage, or are we actually valuing them a little more? Because it does begin there. And number three, how are we investing in people? Are we doing things like buying employees books for self-improvement? Are we having team meetings where maybe we bring in a guest speaker to kind of motivate our people? Are we doing creating incentive programs, like maybe giving scholarships away where people can get continuing education? Those are all the elements that organizations can kind of create and become aware of that will lessen the risk of turnover and actually attract really high quality people. So, the saying has been we're living in the great resignation. I actually disagree with that. I think we're living in the golden age of hiring. And the reason I say that is people aren't settling. They're not just going for those jobs they have to get. They want something better. And for organizations that are recruiting from that perspective, there are more amazing people available now than ever, because they're just not going to put up with the crap anymore. They're not going to settle for a job just because it's a job. They want something better for themselves. And that's a great place to be if you know how to recruit those people.
Okay, awesome. And who would you say is your ideal client? Is it small businesses, big businesses?
Yeah, small businesses, no teams of no more than 50. Most of the clients I work with have teams of 15 to 30, revenue of anywhere from 3 to 4 mil up to even 100 mil, depending on what industry they're in. But for the most part, probably 5 to 30 mil in revenue. And that's kind of the category for small business, especially in North America.
Okay, great. Where do you think the role of a manager is in this
Yeah,
in the employee process?
really important, hopefully. Unfortunately, a lot of organizations don't teach their managers how to lead. They just teach them how to manage. And management and leadership are very different. A manager can come in and get operations, tasks, to-do list accomplished. A leader is going to come in and impact people first and then take care of the rest. And so to me, a manager plays a really important role. And for even small businesses, oftentimes the employees don't see the owner. They don't see the, kind of the people that actually the board of directors or whatever. They're dealing with managers, GMs, or shift managers. And what I see so often with clients is ownership has an idea of where they want the business to go, but no one trains the general manager or the shift manager how to actually impact people. And so that's a critical role because that's the face that everyone is seeing. And it's also, in my opinion, one of the most undervalued positions in terms of impact.
Okay, great. Where do you see yourself doing? What are you trying to accomplish next?
Right now, it's all about scaling for me business wise. We're working on a couple of new books. Working on, the pandemic was tough, especially as a keynote speaker, because all the opportunities went away. And so it's, rebuilding speaking engagements. And so yeah, that's where we are, scaling clients, rebuilding the speaking part of things, and then finishing up projects.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else that you want to mention?
No, I appreciate you having me on, and hopefully something we've said can, ignite some thought in people, and maybe shift their perspective on leading.
Okay, sweet. Go ahead and give us your contact information in case somebody wants to work with you.
Yep. Easiest way to get me directly is my email, mitch@mitchgraymedia.com. Shoot me an email and let's connect.
All right, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.